Carlos, welcome.
I know a couple of these faces, but not all of them. Hi, Eric. Yeah, I'll just be like that. Good afternoon. I apologize for the weather. It's horrible. It's like winter, right? Change from summer to winter immediately. Good to see you.
So please, this is Klaus Telmer, CEO of Škoda Auto. So enjoy his presence, and we are pleased to have him here and to have you here.
Thank you. Thanks.
Okay, it's now the afternoon. We've had a nice lunch and a nice tour in the Škoda Museum and signed all the paperwork and been filmed and photographed by the event staff. And now we're in a convoy of Enyaqs heading to the test polygon. So there's a route we've been given on Google Maps and we have to follow that and we will see what unfolds. So really nice morning meeting with Matthias from Speicher Electrified, and comparing notes about Enyaqs and YouTube channels, and just a nice chance to meet up with lots of people. So we shall see what happens next.
Really good. Just like a small baby Enyaq. Excellent.
Deswegen sagen wir ja immer, Pre-Serie dürft nicht so genau hingucken. Auch das hier, ist alles dann matt und richtiges.
No kettlebell.
I'm actually having one kettlebell in my Enyaq now. Oh.
Já to nevidím, jak lidi budu seřovat. Jo, dáme ti vědět, no. Teď už jezdí do slalomu Elroq.
Tak já jsem ti Elroq, tak mi řeknu, než tam bude.
It's exactly what we had to do in Finnish driving school.
Alright, I think we can continue.
Maybe just tell me who you are and what we're doing, why we're here.
Okay, why we're here.
Is that okay?
So, hello everyone. My name is David. I am the administrator of the Facebook community, which has been managed by Škoda Auto, which is named Škoda EV Lounge. And today we are in testing polygon Uhelnice in Czech Republic, close to Mladá Boleslav, where we invited our customers, our most active members of Škoda EV Lounge, and we offered them to test all our types of Enyaq cars, and also one surprise, Škoda Elroq. So I believe they will enjoy this part of the day. And within few minutes we are leaving to Bezděčín, which is a design hall where we have more surprises for our members.
You've done this before. So that was a fun couple of hours on the test track. The highlight had to be getting to drive the brand new Skoda Elroq. And I have to say, it's 15 centimeters shorter than the Enyaq, apparently. But I don't know if I could detect where the 15 centimeters was, or was not. The boot was very good size. It didn't appear to be much smaller than the Enyaq, if at all. There was no or not so much storage beneath the floor, So that part is smaller. And the rear cabin, and in fact the front, seemed pretty much the same size. It felt, size-wise, like an Enyaq. What it did not feel like was driving on an Enyaq. It was sharper. The steering was sharper. The acceleration felt greater. I don't know if it really was. I didn't measure it. And the steering was great. So just slightly smaller, and I think it's a real sweet spot. I think Škoda will have a winner on their hands if the production car is like that. And interestingly, we played around with the software. It was 5.2, software version 5.2. So my car is on 4.0, and in the last week, I think 5.1 has appeared on some cars being delivered. And I couldn't see, two of us played around with it, we couldn't see any major difference between 4.0, which we both have on our cars, and 5.2 on the Elroq. So people are getting really agitated and complaining online forums to Škoda, but my car hasn't been updated. I'm only on 4.0 or 3.7, and why can't I be upgraded? And sure, the difference between 3.7 and 4 is big. It's a total redesign, but for those people who are on 4.0 or 4.1 and are complaining that 5.1 is now appearing, honestly guys, we couldn't see the difference. So maybe we can ask later on, but I think it may just be that Škoda have got a different version for different model years of the car, and actually it's more for software, I don't know, management purposes than in reality. But we couldn't see any difference between 5.2 and 4.0. There may be differences under the skin and behind the scenes, we couldn't detect it. So for the user, the driver, it's pretty much the same. Anyway, we're now heading for the Škoda design studio. Whether we'll be allowed to film anything there or not, I don't know. We shall see. But a great day so far.
Thank you.
Obviously we then had confidential discussions which we couldn't film with the battery team and with the software team, but Speicher Elektrisiert did film the Q&A session we had with the CEO, and so check out that channel and you will see everything that was covered in the Q&A session, and it's well worth it. Then we went for dinner organised by Škoda at the brewery right beside the hotel we were staying in, and as you would expect with a brewery, the discussions about Enyaqs and Elroqs continued long into the night, but soon enough it was time to go home. So it's the morning after the first big EV Lounge meetup organised for 2024 by Škoda EV Lounge, and it was a great success. I think everyone had a great time. Lots of us met for the first time, we made new friends, or met in real life, people we've only known online, so it's always good. And we had a great program. So taking it from the start, we met up at the Škoda Museum in Mladá Boleslav. It's well worth a visit if you're in the area. We then had lunch and were given some goodies from Škoda, some backpacks, water bottles and so on, which is very nice. And then we went out to the test polygon, a test track, and we had a chance to test every kind of Enyaq and also an Elroq. So I have a new Enyaq 85, so for me it wasn't so new, but obviously on a test track you can drive a little differently from on the roads. So we had to test slalom and acceleration, maximum power, regen, all this sort of stuff. And I know for the guys from the German, Swiss and Austrian EV group, none of them have a 4.0 car, a 2024 car, so for them it was the first time driving the new motor. And speaking to them afterwards, they really, like me, noticed the extra power and really liked the performance. And the software, it was a welcome change for them too. So that was all good. For me, the Elroq was a great highlight, and we were first to test that, myself and Alti from Finland. We were the first pair to grab the Elroq and go for a test drive. And it's like a It's like an Enyaq, but slightly smaller, but it's hard to see where it's smaller because the cabin is spacious, the boot is spacious, so I don't know, Škoda have worked some magic. It's 15 centimetres shorter, but I can't really see where. I think they said the boot is maybe 40 litres smaller, so it's really not very much at all. So still, for that class of car, a huge, huge boot, and plenty of space for most families. And at the time, I really liked the handling. It was sharp, it was sporty, it was very agile, and it reminded me of something, and I could not quite figure out what it was until last night after dinner. I went to bed and it occurred to me, it's like my Skoda Yeti. So that if you've not driven one, the Yeti was about 12, 13 years ago, a little SUV crossover type car, and it was probably the most fun Škoda I've ever had to drive. It was really great fun on twisty country roads and really nimble, and a great car to drive. And many Yeti owners have said, why Škoda, can't you bring a new Yeti? I think maybe in the Elroq Škoda have the new Yeti. I don't know, we shall see. And I could definitely see that if I hadn't already just bought an Enyaq 85, I would be placing an order this morning at Škoda's door if it was available to order today. But don't fear, you will see it all without the camouflage soon, we're promised. We were lucky, we did see it last night with no camouflage. We saw it inside, outside, and we were talked through all the features of the car by the designer of the Enyaq and the Elroq. And yeah, it's a really, really nice car. It's got a total new look on the front. For people who complain about the fake radiator grille on the Enyaq, it's gone, the new tech deck face. He explained they were inspired by the Mandalorian from Star Wars, so the visor on the helmet was their inspiration. So yeah, it looks pretty cool. It may not be everyone's taste, but I liked it. So we also had on the afternoon session yesterday after the test track, we had talks. So we had a good question and answer discussion with the software team, talking about over-the-air software updates, which is a painful issue for many Enyaq owners, complaining about the lack of software updates. They showed us the development of the app, and there will be more coming on the app soon. They also demonstrated how far the app has come with a side-by-side speed demonstration, and it's very impressive. Sadly, we weren't allowed to film, and some of what they were telling us was confidential, so they could get our views on where the software development direction is going. And rest assured, we weren't sucking up to them, we weren't giving them an easy time. It was a friendly discussion, obviously, but they wanted honest feedback, and we gave them honest feedback and some good hard questions. But yeah, the theme I took away from that and the later battery discussion was that the Škoda team are working very hard. They understand the pain or the complaints of customers, and they're working really hard to try and address those. They're coming up with new ideas, new data communication channels from the car to give some of the things that we as drivers want. And I'm not allowed to tell you some of the things they were looking at and trying to develop because they asked us not to share it, so I respect the confidentiality. But they're all working on the things that we all want, and they're working very hard to find ways around the restrictions of the MEB platform, because the theme I took away from all of the sessions was that Škoda understand, Škoda wants to do things, but they're constrained by what Volkswagen Group have given them in terms of the hardware and what CARIAD does in the software. But it was all very, very promising. Similarly, the battery discussion, I don't think I learned too much new. Interestingly, though, they were talking about preheating, and they are looking to see if there is a way at all possible, without killing some cars, without bricking cars, to bring battery preconditioning to the pre-4.0 cars. So if you have one of the older Enyaqs, keep your fingers crossed. They are working hard. They know we want it. They know why we want it. They want to bring it to us, so they're just trying to find any way possible to do it for as many cars as they can. I also asked about software updates and the version numbers, because already we're seeing in the last week people with 5.1 cars arriving, and already people are complaining, I've only got 4.0, my car's 2 weeks old, why? And I spoke to Eric from Škoda, and he explained that when the hardware component ICAS is updated, then the software updates to match that. So in my car, a 2024, I have ICAS 4, so I have 4.01 and so on. The new cars today are model year 25, they have ICAS 5, and therefore they have launched the software 5 to go with that car, or that hardware. And I said, but you're maybe causing some frustration and some anxiety among owners, my car's obsolete. And he said, no, it's just our internal numbering, which we make open to the world. So he asked me to really be assured that the car's not obsolete, it's just the software is matching the hardware. And we did look through on the Elroq, we had it for maybe a good 20 minutes, and we were going through that car. It had 5.2 software. We went through all the menus. I could see, having spent maybe 6-7 minutes going through every menu, I could see no difference between the user experience for that car and my car on 4.0. And Eric explained later, yes, that's perfectly normal. From the user, it's all the same, but behind the scenes, there's different hardware, so the software has to be a different version to work with that hardware. But he said, be assured, your car's not obsolete, it will be updated. It's just that we have to have a slightly different version of the software to match the hardware. So hopefully that's helpful to some people. And finally, before dinner, which I don't need to explain dinner and some drinks in a brewery to you, finally we had a Q&A session with Klaus Zellmer, who is the CEO of Škoda. And the team said to us, look, you've given us some hard questions. You must say these to the boss. He needs to hear from you, because that's the value for us. We are spending time and money putting on this event, but the value for us is the feedback and honest feedback from the customer. If it's just telling us nice things, that's no use. We need honest feedback. So nobody held back. We asked him all the same hard questions that we had in the sort of battery and software sessions. And he was very open, very honest, and welcomed our feedback. He said he himself monitors the EV Lounge group. I think one of the German guys had said one evening, is that really you, Klaus Zellmer, or is it a fake account? And he just laughed and said, yeah, it's me. So don't worry, I can't remember everything that was discussed. That wasn't a confidential discussion. Matthias from Speicher Elektrisiert videoed the entire Q&A session, and he told me last night it will be published. So rather than us taking notes or trying to half remember what was said, follow Matthias's channel, and you will soon see when he gets home and publishes it, the full discussion that we had with Klaus Zellmer. So just in finishing then, it was a great event, and I really do want to thank, on behalf of all the Enyaq owners who were there, David and Karolina from the Škoda EV Lounge, dziękujemy. And we look forward to seeing you in 2025 at what I hope you will manage to organise a bigger event like you hope. Thanks very much. I hope that's been useful, and I'll see you in another video soon.